YouTube, it's your boy Above Average Cody here, coming at you with all my honest thoughts on the Black Ops 6 full release. And I'm going to keep this one very short and sweet, guys. I'm going to hit y'all with all the things I like about the game, and then all the things that I really do not like about the game, and hopefully by the end of the video, answer the question whether or not you should even waste your time. Now, guys, I will preface this by saying, although I am a long-time Call of Duty fan, I have been fed nothing but disappointment pretty much since Cold War. Call of Duty has stopped me from getting my hopes up for any game, but this one showed some promise, so I was pretty excited leading up to it. So, anyways, just prefacing that I have been a little less on the Activision Call of Duty train in recent years. Now, first off, guys, the first most important thing I like is this game is on Game Pass. I am already paying the $12 for Game Pass since Starfield was released. I've been playing the Fallouts and things like that, and I was going to cancel it, but Call of Duty was on it, so I didn't pay a single dollar to play this game, and that is absolutely fantastic. Massive W for Microsoft, for Call of Duty, and frankly, for gaming in general. To have a game this big and this relevant on Game Pass is just, it's a massive W for everybody all around. Next up, I want to say this game feels really complete. Sure, it's missing some aspects like Ranked and Warzone at launch, but they are scheduled, and I do understand why they schedule them, and we're not going to be waiting all that long. Ranked is coming roughly a month after release, I believe, maybe a month and a half, with Warzone coming very quickly in December, which is very good. But outside of that, we have a really good feeling multiplayer. We have zombies, which I've heard good things about, and we have campaign, which I've heard good things about. Now, this is going to be mostly multiplayer focused because I just haven't had time because I've been grinding multiplayer so much, but I'm hearing great things, and just to have every single thing in the game with all these weapons and all these camos, it feels more complete than just about any other game to come out in the last 5 years, guys. Next up, as for the TTK, or the time to kill, it feels a lot better than recent Call of Duties, guys. The headshot multiplier is not quite as insane, so enemies are not dropping at 1 or 2 bullets every single time, and across all guns, they feel relatively viable outside of maybe how fast they shoot or how hard they are to handle. The TTK feels pretty even across the board for the majority of weapons, which is something Call of Duty has been missing for quite some time. Everything is literally just, it felt like I was always playing hardcore mode, and it feels a little bit better this game, especially being able to kind of turn on kids, or at least like getting completely out of the way if you're in the open and somebody's spraying you. The movement, guys, the Omni movement is super duper cool. You can do some flashy plays with it, but more importantly for the average gamer, it just feels natural. Why have I not always been able to move in every single direction and just sprint? And it feels really nice, and it feels so much smoother than it did in the beta. Like, it felt cool in the beta, but now it feels buttery smooth, guys. I really, really like it. I hope they just stick with this movement style forever, and I hope other games just take notes. It feels natural, it's really cool, and like I said, you can hit some pretty slick plays and some nice slides with it, so that feels really nice. Oddly enough, this is something I thought I would never ever be able to say about a Call of Duty, guys, but it looks really good on low graphics settings. Now, as somebody that does not have a NASA PC and streams games like Call of Duty, guys, I usually have to chalk a lot of my graphics just to get the game to run good enough and stream to look decent enough. I kind of have to find a balance. And what you're watching in the background here, guys, is obviously cut from my live stream on YouTube, but this is on basic graphics settings. I'm on like the 3rd preset out of like 7 of them, guys, and the game runs great and the game looks good. I can actually see enemies. Now, I realize this does not look fantastic, but normally Call of Duty on basic graphics settings, guys, is absolutely just horrendous to look at, and this is pretty bearable. So that's what I mean by it looks pretty good on low graphics settings. Next up, guys, the camos. We're on that camo grind. They look amazing. They killed it with the camos. I'm not just talking the mastery camos like Dark Matter, but they added a mastery camo called Dark Spine that looks amazing, and even there's 2 special camos per gun. If you guys want to check out my camos video, I'll link it below in the description. They all look really, really good. They definitely put a decent amount of quality time into designing the unlockable camos. And on top of that, guys, the camo grind is probably the best that I've seen in quite a few years, because they kind of got away from the highly skilled, I'm really good at the game and it's a big flex camo grind, to I have a lot of time to play the game and do all of these stupid attachment challenges to unlock mastery camos. And that kind of took away a lot of the quality of unlocking them from my point of view. But this one is pretty well balanced. It does take quite a bit of time getting 100 headshots for every single gun, but they also did away with getting 5 kills without dying for every single gun until the Dark Matter. So they do make it a little bit easier. So I think they bridge the gap between just putting in the time and just being really good at the game. And this is a nice middle ground that just about I think any player can get behind and start unlocking some of these cooler camos. Next up, guys, there's stuff already coming to the game. If you did not already know, tomorrow, October 29th, 4 days after launch, we are getting Nuketown, the normal map, not the destroyed one, because Warhead is a strike map in the game, which is like a destroyed Nuketown. And then we're also getting Infected already. Now, you could argue that they should have been in at launch, but it's like 4 days after launch and we're getting content. I'm really not that upset, and it's not like a Black Ops game has to have Nuketown at launch, as long as it's in at some point. So all the people camo grinding and maybe struggling a little bit, Nuketown 24/7 might be here to save the day, I'm guessing. Next up, guys, Classic Prestige is amazing. This is a really hot topic for the people that got into COD within the last 4 or 5 years, but feel free to rip me apart in the comments, but Classic Prestige is better. If you don't want all your unlocks to lock, just don't prestige. I think it's definitely a flex. It's a grind, and it's a really fun grind, and that's just how it should be. I think COD's better with a level icon that you can flex like that. And then of course, guys, the game's been so fun to play. It has been so fun. Everything I've mentioned has just led to a perfect bundle of playing the game, enjoying it, grinding and still having fun, and I don't know what more I can say on the matter. Now, let's jump into the things I really do not like. The maps, guys, the maps. Oh, man, I don't know what is with developers and map-making struggles within the last 5 to 10 years of gaming, but my goodness, the maps on this game are just not great. They don't play good. They look good. Like, I'm pumped that Call of Duty has color again, and it's not just gray on gray like the last few games have been. But they do not play good. There's too much going on a lot of the maps. Some of the maps feel like they should have been designed for a jetpack Call of Duty game, but we are obviously boots on the ground here, so I don't know what is going on there. And most importantly, they just don't feel like Treyarch maps. I expected a lot more out of Treyarch, so not only are the maps not good, but I am severely disappointed with them. They look good, sure. Like, they're nice if you go in Codcaster or whatever and just, like, glide around, and I'm sure they look great. But the way they're playing, I kind of don't like them so far, so I really have to talk bad on the maps as much as I can. Hopefully we get a map pack soon. Give me Raid, and give me some of those other classic maps that Cold War had. Next up, guys, the UI just really isn't good. I don't like the menus. Playing hardcore to unlock all my camos, I have to tab over to hardcore every time. If I just hit find a match, it queues up core. Finding my combat record feels like I have to freaking take a whole class on it. It's just, the UI is still confusing. I don't know what happened to simple, easy UIs, but it's a little bit better than it has been, don't get me wrong, but I still think it's just too confusing. And I'm not dumb. Don't get me wrong, I'm not dumb. It's not that I can't figure it out, it's just, just make it easier. Just make it easier for me. I'm on an iPhone for a reason, guys. Anyways, hit registration. I don't know if any of y'all have experienced this, but this is something I felt the need to list. Hit registration feels off, and not necessarily in terms of getting kills and not getting kills, but on the camo grind, I'm having games where I'm getting headshots like there's no tomorrow, everything's registering, and then literally next game, I'll be getting what I feel like should be a headshot, and there are no headshots clicking. Maybe it's a skill issue. Maybe it's the gun I'm using, but things just feel off, and I've got to chalk it up to hit registration. Feel free to share all your thoughts in the comments, but that's something that I've been struggling with a little bit, guys. And then finally, the SBMM, the skill-based matchmaking, feels about as extreme as it is in any other game in modern-day gaming, which it's kind of what I expect at this point, but it feels like a bigger swing in this game. So we'll get a lot of stable matches that feel good. And while we're on the camo grind, we're dropping, 35, 40, 45 plus kills each game. And then we'll get some absolute demons. They're sliding on us. They're breaking our screens, guys. And yeah, we can compete, but we are doing severely worse than we have been. It makes headshots a lot harder, and it just feels like a really hard lobby. Sure, that's all good and fine. But after a couple of those, we get slammed, and we get an absolute bot lobby, guys. And trust me, I am not opposed to a good old bot lobby. I'll take a game where I can get 15, 20, 25 headshots any day of the week. Breaking my kill record? No problem. Feed me more. But I feel bad for the kids on the other team, man. Like, how does that happen, bro? Like, the SBMM's, like, it's weird. It's definitely on par with many games nowadays, guys, but it just, I don't know. I feel like the swing shouldn't be that great. But that's the last thing in this section of the video, guys. To summarize, best Call of Duty since Cold War, if you are to ask me. Feels very complete for a modern day Call of Duty game. I think it looks really good, especially at low graphic settings, which is something I have never, ever, ever been able to say about a Call of Duty game. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, guys. I highly recommend you give it a shot, even if you're remotely a COD fan. If you really enjoyed Cold War, even maybe Black Ops 4, I'd still put Black Ops 4 above this one. But if you enjoyed those two games, guys, Treyarch does not miss, and this one, I think this is going to be a really quality game, especially once Ranked comes. They put in a few more good maps. I don't know how they're going to do Warzone with the classic prestige system and everything locking again. We'll have to just wait and see. But, guys, I'm really enjoying it. Put some good maps in. I'll bump my review up to a 9 out of 10. Anyways, guys, that's all I want to say about this game. I'm really loving it. I've been streaming it like an absolute madman on the channel. So, guys, hit that subscribe button. Throw on some post notifications if you want to watch me on my camo grind. I have assault rifles all diamond. I'm halfway through SMGs, and I got a few other guns that I've done along the way. We're grinding for that dark matter, hopefully before rank comes out, so I can do some flexing on the kids in my bronze lobbies, y'all. But, guys, as I mentioned, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. What are you thinking about Black Ops 6? Have you not tried it? Are you thinking about trying it? Let me know below. And then finally, guys, channel memberships and super thanks. If you'd like to support monetarily, you can do so down below on the video, but please do not feel like you have to. But alrighty, guys, that does it from me. Interested to hear your guys' thoughts on the game, and stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.